Hello there, I'm Shak, and if you're like me, you probably have access to an absurd number of games you've never actually played. Maybe you have a friend or sibling that regularly gifts you games, maybe you can't resist a good Steam sale, or maybe you just get free games off the Epic Store and never look at them for more than 5 seconds. Rather than getting overwhelmed by the sheer number of options out there, I decided to take this head on. So follow me as I go through every game that I have access to and tell you what's worth your time and what isn't. For today's review, we have what is easily one of the most innovative indie titles I've ever played, Creature in the Well. Creature in the Well is described by its creators with phrases like pinball with swords, pinball-inspired hack and slash, and a bespoke artesian dungeon crawler. And all of these phrases pretty accurately describe what you're getting yourself into with it. You play as the last remaining bot sea engineer, an ancient bot from a more illustrious age when the machine was built. The machine was supposed to control the weather and stop a world-ending sandstorm, but because they built it inside of a mountain, they disturbed the creature that lives there, who broke the machine, killed almost every bot sea engineer, and set itself up as a false god for the town of Mirage. They now depend on it for water, I guess? It's not clear why people listen to the creature, but it is in a well, and there hasn't been rain in long enough that people don't believe in rain, or trees, or horses anymore, so I'm going with water. And that's where pinball comes in. The machine is separated into 8 modules that you turn on with the power of the last one. You get power by mashing different components with, you guessed it, balls. Preferably of the pin variety. While you can charge the balls yourself using the charge tools that you find, most of which are swords, you'll have a much better time completing anything that the game asks you to do by bouncing your balls from one component to the next, like any other game of pinball. Most of the puzzles have you pull up to a room and find the optimal way for your balls to bounce to sap all the energy from the room, with a little bit of charging at the start to make sure they're full enough to function. This game really shines in its challenge rooms, which give you a set amount of time to finish before resetting. Completing one usually gives access to bot cores, which are used to level up, strike tools, which are used to strike the ball, and charge tools, which, you guessed it, are used to charge the ball. Bot cores are always useful, but any charge tool that isn't the dual blades or the fan blade is mid at best, and any strike tool that isn't the thunder staff or the folded edge axe is wasting your time. These unlocks are head and shoulders above anything else the game gives you, and you will be best served ignoring other unlocks. This is one of the main problems I have with the game, as certain options are so much better than everything else it limits replayability, and a game this short should try to maximize the enjoyment you have on a second or third playthrough. Regardless, the puzzles are great, and you can easily enjoy this game a couple times. This game isn't just puzzles, it is
a creature feature,
with the end of each level
featuring the creature.
Each of the 8 levels ends with a boss battle as the creature pulls you down into the darkness and you fend it off. These serve to punctuate the level, pulling mechanics that were introduced earlier and expanding on them in the boss fight. Almost all of these encounters are really fun, except for the one in the synchronous field. Building on the frustration of tight spaces with little room to move around and avoid damage from the level, the creature fight puts you on a tiny itty bitty little platform with 2 sticks of dynamite. And the hit stun from the dynamite is about as long as the invincibility you get after being hit, so you can easily get wobbled to death. And since you'll probably have several balls bouncing around the room, there's a good chance you just die, and there's nothing you can do about it. For a game this innovative, and unlike anything else that exists, it's impressive that there's only one section where it falls apart, but it falls apart really badly. If you want to 100% this game, it'll take you about 5 hours, and one of those hours is probably the worst boss battle I've done in a while. Everything else about the game is peak, but that section is just so bad. So I'm giving this game an 8 out of 10, which is what everyone else decided to give it. Huh.